Hi angels, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be getting into a prediction for the rest of the year. Uh, we're going to be getting into the rest of the year predictions for love. What the heck is going on for the rest of the year? What is that? October, November, December, 3 months. So the next 3 months in your love life, what's going to happen? Well, I guess technically we got September too, so kind of like 3.5 months, but we're just going to look at the rest of the year. I'm going to do 2 pals. So pal number 1 is this very cutesy wootsy amethyst crystal. And then pal number 2 is going to be this jade angel crystal. We're just doing 2 pals today, so those are the 2 pals. So pick whichever one you feel the most drawn to. Okay, if you chose pal number 1, this one is for you. So I already pulled the cards here. I want to say what's going on here is a lot. So the overall theme, we have the guide, which this card talks about like correction, inheritance, etc. So for one, I do feel like spirit is going to be, this lighting is weird. I do feel like spirit is going to be like really, I do feel like spirit is going to be really present as it relates to your love life and the connection. There's this energy of reverence here. There's this energy of like, I don't know, it feels like you will be very connected to spirit. For some of you, you may even be connected to some sort of like community or collective of people. So like if you are watching this, you could potentially come from my TikTok. If you're a part of my subscribers, we have our own collective of kind of people in there where I do collective readings very often to kind of navigate a specific collective relationship, which I've been doing for months now. If you're on my Patreon, the same thing. It's we have memberships there where we like on a weekly or bi-weekly base are like tapping into collective relationships, what's going on in love, etc. So there could be something like that where you have somebody who is like spirit is working through this person to help guide you as it relates to love in general for the rest of the year. Now, I do see that there is a person that is central to this connection that's coming out, but there's this energy of like, I don't want to say wounded masculine, but I'm getting a specific archetype in an archetype deck that I made personally, which I think that masculine I'm thinking of is called something. I can't remember what I called it, but it's this a crownless king. That is what this energy is giving me. And it's funny because we have the king and it has a crown, but some of the sword is like deteriorating. And it's pointing, the sword is pointing down. Now, swords talk about like communication because it gives me like king and queen of sword energy. Swords and tarot are all about like communication and mental energy. So it's down. This person may be thinking a lot, but it feels like they think so much that it starts to deteriorate, but they're not actually saying much. So whoever you're dealing with, whoever this main person is that comes through, this may be somebody where, going back to the crownless king archetype card that I have, that archetype is essentially someone who actually has a lot of power, but they're lost, so they don't really know what to do with the power. So the masculine that you could be dealing with in the month of, or I'm sorry, for the rest of the year could be somebody who's still figuring themselves out. I also want to say that you two are both in like lower vibrational energies, which on some level is good because you're on the same frequency. Now, I'm not saying your energy is bad. Hello? I'm not saying that your energy is bad. I'm just saying that there is a lower frequency that both of you may be in as it relates to this dynamic at least. I think this is good, however, because you guys are like on the same level to some degree. Because if you were like way above this person, then it just wouldn't work. It would not, you know what I'm saying? So I think on some degree, you guys maybe aren't as close as you potentially want to be to whatever outcome that you're thinking of. But I do think that you're in alignment on some level, even if it's not the best level, there's still something good about that because I can feel like you maybe won't have an ending with this person. I don't know if they're in and out or not. I don't know what the dynamic is of your connection. There may not be leaps of progression, but it doesn't mean that you guys aren't moving. It just means that it could be going in a way that is slower to the mind's eye or to your own expectations. So before I really delve into the details, I would want to advise you to maybe avoid trying to have heavy expectations or even heavy energies of like control. Like you can't, this is not, you, first of all, you can't control a person. So it's like you can have things that you intuitively feel like, okay, yeah, I feel like I deserve this. I feel like this is something that's going to happen for me. But your own feelings are your feelings. You can't project that onto another person. And I've been talking about that for months, this concept of ideal versus idealism, where it's like you can have things that are ideal for you, and that's fine, that's good, that's even warranted. We want that. But when you project your ideals onto another person, it's idealism. And it's like that is a projection that may never come true. People are humans, and they don't exist to just be what we want them to be. People are their own people. This lighting is throwing me off, the way it's like, I don't know what that is. But yeah. So yeah. And it's funny though, because on the 2 cards, there's a little rainbow. I don't know where these rainbows come from. Maybe it's my disco ball, but no, the disco ball brings like little lights, but there's always rainbows coming out of nowhere. I don't know, but that could be significant. Rainbows could be a significant sign for you as it relates to this connection. And a rainbow being on top of these cards, which the 2 main cards that I haven't really talked about yet, they're not the most positive cards on the when you hello, they're not the most positive cards at first eyes glance, but I can see the vision. Okay, so don't be trying to just rush and go to the other pile because you like, fuck this one. No, there's beauty here. You just got to be real. So, and the rainbow being over these 2 cards, it makes me feel like that spirit saying like there's still hope. Like you can still get a wish fulfilled out of this energy. You just have to do whatever you can do to contribute to the energy in a positive way. And that's all you can do. You can't control what someone else is doing. You can only control what you're doing. Now, let's talk about it. We have interference on the left, and then we have addiction on the right. I feel like the left is probably the person who's watching, and the right is probably the person you're dealing with, but take it how it resonates. One of the people in here is in an energy where interference talks about a third party. I don't necessarily feel like a third party is a person. I feel like the third party is this energy of like wanting to control. So this could come from like looking for external validation, getting a lot of readings, trying to do spell work on this person, or even if it is an actual third party, like if this is you and there's a third party, you could be trying to date other people just because you're trying to avoid whatever comes up with this person, whatever. It's like one person is coming into energy, or this could even be like getting too much advice from people who maybe like you know what's best. And honestly, this could be the masculine too. I don't know, take it how it resonates. But yeah, there's that energy with this person. So there's one person who's in an energy where they're maybe more passive because it's on the left side. This person is in their head a lot when it comes to this connection, but it's almost like this person is getting in the way. The interference could literally be this person. Like if this is you, you could be the interference just because you're so in your head. And my throat chakra is really closing up. Yeah, it feels like whoever this is, they don't speak a lot about how they feel. They more so, I don't know what they do. They whoever this is, they may have a fear of like rejection potentially, because there's this energy where I feel like maybe this person thinks about a million things, but they don't always say it. And that's another thing too. There could be, and I'll pull some advice over this. I wasn't going to, but I have the deck, so I will. There could even be a need for the person on this side to like learn how to actually be more vulnerable and just communicate. Like not argue, not send in paragraphs, but just say, hey, I'm feeling really triggered by this, whatever, like so that they can receive a bit of reassurance instead of making up shit in their head and going to get readings and talking to their friend and da-da-da-da. Because it feels like there's this energy of like trying to control, whether that's trying to control the way you're perceived, trying to control the dynamic, whatever. There's an energy of like control when it comes to one person here. Give me more on that. Yeah, and the control or the trigger to want control or whatever is in this person's head, it could be about distance. So we have let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. So there could be an energy of like maybe the person on the left, or sorry, the person on the right, the other person, they take distance sometimes. Maybe they got a lot going on. They're dealing with their own things. Maybe they simply just don't always want to talk. Whatever the case may be, it is what it is. Because I don't think these two people are in a relationship for most of you. 12:21 on the clock. You guys may marry each other, but if you are in a relationship, that's a whole nother story. But I'm just reading the energy objectively. But it feels like, relationship or not, the person on the right may take distance sometimes for whatever reason. And that is the exact energy that the person on the left could want to try to manipulate or control. Or it could even put this person on the left in their head so much that they do things that self-sabotage. Like, this person on the left could be a bit of a self-sabotager. So I do see like there's this energy of like discontentment here. Now I'm talking about you. So you could take the left or the right. I'm not finished with the right, but I want to come down here first and then I'll go back. Hopefully this is not confusing, but I feel like you're the person on the left, okay? You can flip the roles if you want to, but I'm just going to speak to you like you're the left person because I'm confusing myself. So your energy, you may feel a bit discontent, but I feel like you are confident and wise enough, and you're intuitive enough to pick up on the fact that there's still beauty and opportunity present. So we literally have the Four of Cups is the first card that came out. And if you know tarot, the traditional depiction of the Four of Cups is a guy who's sitting next to a tree. He's looking pouty. He's looking at the Three Cups and he doesn't see that behind him there's a hand coming out of nowhere, which is spirit, giving him another cup, an overflowing cup. And literally we have the Queen of Wands in between the Four of Cups and the Ace of Cups, but the direction she's looking is at the Ace of Cups. So I feel like while you may feel discontent, intuitively you know that there's still opportunity, whether with this person or not. But you get caught up in your fucking head. Eight of Swords. It's like I'm telling you, you're blocking yourself. So I think the advice for you for the rest of this year is to stop trying to control the dynamic, to stop doing things where you sabotage or make the connection worse or push this person away more because of your need to control or for things to look how you think that they should look. Because I think a big lesson for the rest of this year is that you're not as in control as you think you are. Like, yeah, we have control of our mindset. We have control of our perception. We have control of our actions. But when it comes to a relationship, you cannot control another person, for at least the way I believe. Now, some people may believe otherwise. I don't. People have free will, and free will is respected by spirit. So if you think that spirit respects free will, but you don't have to respect free will, that's you and your own thought processes. But personally, I think that you cannot control other people. They have their own free will. They're going to make their own choices, right? So I feel like for you to have a better flow and to maybe even experience more moments of closeness with this person, you have to tap into your confidence and your intuition and not let your fears make you feel insecure and not act off of those insecurities or triggers. I think that is why Spirit is offering you some sort of guide to help you through this dynamic so that you don't sabotage it. Because even if, whether you end up with this person or not, whatever the case may be, whatever the outcome is here, I do feel like this situation is teaching you a lot of valuable lessons. The overall theme here is trust. And so yeah, it's safe to trust the situation is what the card says. So it's like, things may not always look the way you hope or expect them to, but it doesn't mean that this connection is invaluable. So let's talk about the person that you're dealing with. With them, there's an energy of addiction that is affecting the relationship. This person comes through with reptilians. This card talks, and I didn't show you your card, but you come through with Alpha Draconians and they come through with the reptilians, but it looks like this, the way they came out, because it's actually like that, you know? So you guys are looking in different directions, but you see how they're like the same type of animal almost, or being, whatever. So reptilians is a card of someone who's still in like survival mode. It's a bit of like a fight or flight. It's a bit of like a predator energy too, where it's like they're willing to do whatever for them. And that's just what it is. So I do feel like whoever you're dealing with, they could potentially just be in a more selfish energy. Passion wanted to come out, but I'm gonna see what comes out. This person may be in a more selfish energy because they still haven't worked through like whatever cycles they need to work through to break free from their ego. Passion wanted to come out, sexual union came out. So one and the same. This person is in an energy where I feel like they're going to offer you more casual, spicy energy, but they may not be in a place where they can really honor the sacredness in your connection at this time. Sexual union talks about honoring, I a connection to a certain degree, but it's in more of a, obviously, a sexual nature. So I don't think that this person is just like, oh, they're just casual, they're just using you. Like, passion wanted to come out, but sexual union did come out. And that is a better card because it talks kind of about like a tantric sexual connection. This person, their way of expressing love and showing you how they feel may be through, and I literally felt my heart chakra drop when I said that. They may only know how to express themselves when it comes to how they feel and stuff like that through spicy time. And that's just what it is right now. Because this person is still working through their shadows. Addiction card can be equivalent to like the devil. So they come through with the Knight of Coins in the reverse with the Ten of Swords in the reversal. So Ten of Swords reverse is like this person doesn't want any ending to happen, even if they're not really putting in the work to prevent an ending from happening. So I get why you may feel the way that you feel, because I can see with the Knight of Coins reverse, this person may not be doing as much of the work. You know, Knight of Pentacles upright is an energy of, it's Virgo energy. So it's like paying attention to the details. But Virgo is the sixth house, which is like tending day after day consistently to something. You know, you're not rushing, you're taking your time and you're tending to it. But with it in reverse, it's like this person is not really taking care of the connection as much as they should. They're also maybe like inconsistent or unwilling to kind of put in the work. I'm going to actually clarify the Knight of Coins specifically. Yeah, Ten of Wands reverse. This person is in an energy where they don't want to carry the burden of a relationship. So if you're not in a commitment with this person, they're not wanting to commit because they probably have other shit going on, and they don't have the room to carry this connection. They don't want to lose you though. Two of Swords is the overall theme, so there is a bit of like indecision as the rest of the year comes out. But we do have embrace. Through each other you find the missing pieces. So I do think like if you're able to hone, I think like the advice here before I kind of close out on this POW with Taisitians and Queen of Wands, it's like the same energy. Your advice here is to just be confident. Know who you are, know what you got, trust your intuition. Choose to see the good and not the bad. Choose to focus on what you do have, appreciate what you do have and not what you don't have. It's like that quote where it's like, to avoid disappointment, you need to appreciate everything and expect nothing. That is your mantra, baby. That is your mantra, That is your mantra for the rest of this year. Appreciate everything, expect nothing. If you want to deal with this person, if you want to make it into next year with this person, that is my advice. Now, if you say, hey, I ain't dealing with this shit, baby, that's on you. But make sure if you do reach a point of not wanting to deal with it, you are sure about that, because for some of you, you may reach times this year where you're like, I don't want to deal with this, I'm done, and then you end it and you regret it because it's not what you want to do. What you really want is for them to give you reassurance, but instead you just completely end the connection. And then you come to me a day later and you're like, hey, when are they going to come back? Baby, you just left them. So, okay. So yeah, I do feel like the overall theme is trust, and then the play hard card wanted to pop out. Trust. It is safe for you to trust in this situation. Spirit is not saying no at all. They're just saying, hey, this is the reality of the dynamic. And then under that, we have play hard. Find time to laugh, goof off, and enjoy each other. For this to work as well, there's a need to just be lighthearted and accept it for what it is. Now, if you want to date other people and continue to live your life, baby, do that. But just when it comes to this person, to avoid self-sabotaging it, you need to just control yourself. Don't try to control them, okay? So I hope that helps. Let me know how it resonates down below. Also, remember that you do have free will. So just because I'm saying this and predicting this now, one, energy could change. Two, you have free will. You could do things to avoid whatever. It's your life. Don't give your power away to tarot. This is just what I'm seeing based off of the projected outcome. So I hope that this helps. Okay, if you chose pile number 2, this one is for you. So I actually had to really sit with this pile for a minute because I was kind of like, what is this? What I'm seeing is there is an energy where I feel like there is a true love that you experienced with a person, and there is going to be an opportunity for you to reconnect with this person, or if you're already connecting with them but things are kind of rocky, there's gonna be like, I don't know, moments where maybe you guys can try rekindling things or getting things back on track, but it's almost an energy of like, should you? That's kind of what I'm getting here. So this pal is like, yeah, there is a connection that is true, and it's a source of inspiration for you. It's proof that you could feel a certain type of way about somebody. Or maybe for some of you, it's some sort of creative inspiration for you where you do something, there's some sort of art or something like that that you expressively channel this person off of you. Maybe you're a painter and you paint how this person made you feel, or you're a writer and you write poems about it, whatever the case may be. It feels like there's a connection with somebody that you already know. And it's somebody that at some point, or even now, you may have thought of as your person, but for most of you, it's somebody that I think you're not in contact with. And Spirit is kind of, for the rest of this year, questioning, or putting it on you to question, like, does this person deserve a place in your life? Do they deserve chance over chance over chance? Do they deserve the amount of time you're giving them? Do they deserve to continue to be your boyfriend if they're not? Whatever the case may be, it's something like that. So I feel like the energy here is someone potentially that you're not talking to. For most of you, they feel remorse for how they treated you, and they're likely going to come around for a second chance, but it's almost like, should you go at it again with this person? So I think for the rest of the year, there's a lot of investigative energy here where you're like figuring out, you're delving deeper, you're trying to understand, you're doing research. It's like you're really like, it doesn't feel like you're learning a lesson. It feels like maybe you're really trying to integrate, not a lesson per se, but you're really trying to integrate a concept of like knowing when to let things go, like not beating a dead horse, knowing when it's time to walk away, knowing that duality can exist. Like, yeah, you can have a true connection with someone. The love could be true, but it doesn't mean that you have to like, or you should be with that person, or you should just give them endless chances. Like for this pile of people, this could be an energy where you guys may have like even thought of this person as like, you're a soulmate, you're a twin flame. Clarify, second chance, reverse. I just want to get one more on this. Yeah, leap of faith. Interference, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of like what I'm getting here. There's this energy where I do feel like there may be some sort of like mentorship that comes through Spirit. So you may find that like if you get readings, for instance, you may start to get readings that are like, yeah, you know, maybe you need to let this go, or you could get nudges from Spirit. Like, so for some of you, let's just say this is the type of connection where it's like sometimes you're wanting it, you're rooting for it, and you lean back into this energy of allowing yourself to think about this person because it gives you comfort, etc., etc. Or you allow them back into your life, but they're like bare minimum and you barely hear from them, whatever the case may be. But you try to tell yourself like, well, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It feels like Spirit is not gonna let you feel relaxed or comfortable in this energy because it's not right, and you know it's not right. So it's like this person may bring your mind comfort, right? Because you have a connection, maybe for some of you, even some sort of trauma bond. There's something about this person to you that you hold very sacred and close to your heart. At the same time, Spirit is almost like making you feel something unsettling. I'm getting hot. Like, I mean, obviously the sun is blazing on me, but I've been sitting here for like 2 hours now. I've did a couple personal readings, but yeah, it's like your spirit is not going to feel comfortable. It's not going to feel comfortable anymore. And what did I just say? I've been sitting here for like 2 hours. Some of you, it could have been 2 years that you've known this person, 2 months, something about 2 could be significant. You could have met them on the 2nd month, February, whatever. Something could have happened. But anyways, it's like maybe for a long time you could sit in the heat of this connection, but Spirit is like going to make it to where it isn't comfortable for you anymore because you're not meant to be here anymore. Even though what you felt was true and maybe even reciprocal, it's maybe just not meant to be here anymore. So we have 2 9s here. There's going to be an opportunity for you to really close this out. I think before the year is over, you will likely move to a place where you let this go completely. And I do feel like there's another person here too. Like there is some sort of new love. I think you're going to meet somebody else, but I don't know if the connection with this other person is really going to unfold as much this year. Or like, even if it is unfolding, you may not be paying it much attention, or seeing it really for what it is quite yet, which I think is good because then it's less likely for you to like fall into a bad cycle of over romanticizing it or anything. I do feel like you're going to have another connection, but I feel like the main theme of what's going on here is you may be faced with your biggest fears over and over and over again. It's like you go to this connection or the thought of it for comfort, and then boom, within days you're hit with all these like fears of, what am I delusional? Is this real? Am I making this up? Do they really feel this way? Should I reach out to them? Should I, like, it's like those type of spirals. 31 on the clock. And it's like, it feels like spirit is almost giving you this, like, these parallels where it's like, yeah, you feel the comfort in this, but at the same time, this is what comes with this, because it's not actually in alignment with you anymore. And I think you know that. So it's all about choice. You can choose to get out of the 9 of Swords and into the 9 of Cups if you focus on yourself, and maybe even potentially another wish fulfillment connection that is going to be present with potentially a fire sign person. I was almost saying water sign, so maybe the main person is a water sign for some of you, but potentially with a fire sign person, or potentially an earth sign. You will have another option or other options in love, but I feel like you're going to have one that actually stands out, and it could go the distance. But if you get caught up in trying to live in the head of what ifs and potentials of this old connection, then you may find yourself holding back, and it kind of will slow down the connection with this other person, because this other person may feel like a little bit mentally stuck themselves and indecisive, or at a crossroads because of how you're acting. So there's another connection that I can definitely feel could unfold for you this year, but it really depends on how you navigate through the main connection at hand. Can you give me something about this main connection here? So I feel like the rest of the year for you is, there's like this opportunity to release something, but it just depends on your own free will. Yeah, because we have, look deep within your heart, you will feel my love for you is deep as an ocean. Whoever this person is, they genuinely do care about you, and that's what makes it so hard. I feel like this person pulls on your energy, but they're so slow or inconsistent or not there at all for some of you. For some of you, you may not have heard from this person in months, and you may not hear from them at all this year. But it's like, because you feel them on such a deep level, it keeps you coming back again and again, especially if you struggle with like loneliness. It's like, okay, well, what else do I have? You know, like, how can this feel so good and so much better than the loneliness that I feel and the absence that I feel? Spirit ain't sending me nobody else, so, you know, why not? But it's like, that's actually the point. That's actually like the quote unquote test that you're experiencing. It's like, will you stand on integrity and release this connection, not because you have another person, not because they don't make you feel a certain type of way anymore, but because you know it's not, they don't deserve a place in your life. You know this person is not actively choosing you. You know that you're focusing more on potential than what's actually in front of you, and you guys maybe aren't even compatible, or they're never in your life, or whatever the case may be. It's like, there's this energy of like, okay, yes, you feel this way, but you cannot sustain a relationship off of feelings, especially if this person is not showing up at all. So, you know, I know that could be tough to hear. Yeah, and then I just went to pick this deck up because I was going to pull on this other person that I'm picking up on, and I literally, 2 cards were left on, and it's unavailable. This person is unavailable to give you all that you deserve, with protected underneath that. You are divinely guided. I'm telling you, Spirit is going to try to protect you again and again and again from falling in this loop, because you're not meant to be here. But it's like, and I want to say you know it, but honestly, I don't know if you do know it, because I feel like it could be so confusing because of how deeply you feel, because of how resonant this connection feels, despite the way it actually looks. But it's like, if you don't give this person a second chance, you have the ability to manifest something better if you're patient and if you trust your intuition. So can you tell me, Spirit, about the potential other person that I'm seeing, this Ace of Cups? For the rest of the year, marriage. This relationship is moving towards a sacred union. Whoever this other person is, and I got chills on my head, which is Spirit, is like confirmation for me. Whoever this other person is that you either, I don't know, for some of you, you will be connected with them this year. For some, it may not be until you release. No, Spirit's corrected me. You don't have to release this main person to connect with this new person. So for most of you, I think you're going to already meet this person and be dealing with them. It's not an either or. It's just like, I think naturally you're going to phase out of this connection. I'm not feeling like you're being tested or anything like that. So I want to be very clear about the message that Spirit is giving me. You're not being tested. You're just almost there. You're almost to a place where you're accepting the fact that, yes, the love was real, but this just isn't right for me. This person doesn't deserve a place in my life. I think you're already in alignment with getting there. So I'll say that. Even if right now as you're watching this, you're like, oh, no, this don't resonate. Let me click out of this, whatever. You may come back to this. You may have already clicked out of it by now. You may come back to this months later and be like, fuck, she was right. Okay, I don't want to be right per se, but this is the message. So yeah, anyways, I do feel like there's another person, but there's a need for you to have boundaries. So I think, I don't know, maybe with this main person, this past person, maybe you had a lack of boundaries, which is what built the connection up to kind of be what it was. Clarify. You're kind of getting a 2-in-1. I'm just gonna pull a little bit. Yeah, judgment. Yeah, literally. So there's a need for you to have some sort of judgment call on yourself about maybe, like, again, you're in this investigative energy. So maybe you can look at all the ways that led you to enter into a dynamic that felt the way that it did. I actually pulled the devil originally when I pulled this spread, but I put it back because it came out with more than one card. But I put it back. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give him a fair chance. But that's what this feels like. Like, there's a thin line between the lovers. The lovers ended up coming out in the same place the devil was. There's a thin line between the devil and the lovers, and I've said that before. So there's this need for you to maybe take a look at all the areas where you quote unquote went wrong, or you could have done things better, to avoid getting to the place that you are now, where you feel so irrevocably connected and almost bound to a person, no matter what they do, you know? Because that's how this feels. It's like in this main connection, there may be this thing where it's like you have unlimited love and unlimited chances and unlimited whatever for them. Like this person, like I said, for some of you haven't heard from this person in months, a year, years for some of you. But you're still so deeply in love with this person, and it's like there's no boundaries. So I feel like Spirit is saying, as it relates to other people that you connect with this year, learn from those mistakes so that you don't end up making this new connection that could go the distance, something that the old connection was. You need to have boundaries with this new person. They're coming through as the King of Pentacles. I've been channeling that for a long time in my collectives. There's someone who's stable. It could be an earth sign for some of you. Tell me more about boundaries. Yeah, 10 of Cups. You can have a 10 of Cups with this person. You can literally get married to this person if you have boundaries. If you don't, it could end up falling into another pattern. Clarify 7 of Wands. Ace of Swords. It feels like specifically needing to communicate your boundaries as well. So like checking this person on things that they do, and also aligning your actions with the things that you say. For instance, let's just say inconsistency is a trigger for you. So maybe Spirit is like, okay, let's make this person inconsistent and see what she does about it. Set boundaries immediately and say, hey, I really enjoy dating you, but you need to at least check in with me once a day so that I can feel reassured and connected to you. I get maybe you're busy, but if you can't at least check in with me once a day, then I'm gonna assume that we're not on the same page, and therefore whatever, and then you take a step back, or whatever your boundaries are. Like, there needs to be non-negotiables. There needs to be things that you establish between you and you, where it's like, this is what I will accept and this is what I will not accept. And if this person or if anyone else pushes those boundaries, communicate with them and give them a chance to correct their behavior, because people can't just read your mind. People aren't just gonna, I think it's unrealistic to expect for you to meet somebody and without you even speaking on anything, for them to just be perfect and know everything. Not to say give this person your whole blueprint so they can just mimic what you want, but if things come up, it's okay to say, hey, this makes me feel this way. I would prefer, or it would make me feel more reassured and validated if da-da-da-da. And if they don't do that, cool. If they keep making the same mistakes, then you know your answer. But I feel like this person will be willing to give and to apologize and to close out any cycles to things that you don't like. Because I feel like this person is going to be very serious about you. Clarify marriage. Yeah, 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. Baby, if you're ready to let that past man go, there is something beautiful, stable. You could build some sort of like legacy with this person, some sort of generational wealth. This person is very stable, and they put you in your Queen of Cups energy where you can relax and be emotional and be nurturing without feeling like, oh, I'm being too much, or I'm gonna push them away, or whatever the case may be. Maybe again with that unavailable card connected to your past person, maybe you were not able to really be your emotional self because maybe that was too much for them because they were emotionally available. But it's like with this new person, I feel like it could really go somewhere. Okay, so if this resonates for you, take my advice, take Spirit's advice so you can have what you deserve. You're gonna have it regardless, but I just think it could all go smoother for you, and you can avoid more pain for yourself if you're willing to know and accept the fact that I am better than a connection that makes me feel a certain type of way but doesn't actually show up for me. What is a feeling? You know, like, great, that feels good, but I'm in love with a ghost. You know what I'm saying? That's not there's no way that is the best for you. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, like I say, if they're inconsistent, they're in and out. It's like, is that really the best I can get? I don't think so, Bookie. Yeah, addiction. It's like you could be addicted to that. And that's the same as like the devil energy I was getting. You could have an addiction to people who are emotionally unavailable. Because on some level, maybe you're emotionally available. There's a need for you to maybe take a deeper look at yourself. So yeah, fate. This is a destined partnership. I was literally going to get one more card on this new person, and I stopped because I'm going to use one of these, but fate is there. So I feel like there's something else for you out there if you're willing to be honest with yourself. My beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. I feel like whoever this person is, this new person, you and them already have some sort of spirit. You're already connected spiritually. Like, they're already in your energy. You just maybe haven't met them yet. So I don't know how long this was. This was a long video, even though it was just 2 pals. I went really in depth, but it's the rest of the year, so that makes sense. I'm literally feeling like I'm sweating. So that's what I got for you guys. Let me know how it resonates below. Hopefully it's not too triggering for you. Take what resonates. If you don't feel like it resonates right now, that's totally fine. You're more than welcome to come back to it later if you decide, hey, later it resonates. Or if it never does, baby, it's your life. You have free will. I'm just reading the energy that I'm picking up on, that Spirit is giving me. So I thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to book a personal reading with me, I will have my website linked below. I have Patreon, where I do a couple levels of, baby, I can barely talk. The link is below. Go look at it, okay? Thank you guys for watching.